I'm aware that my solution to my dilemma of divorce, in this case, 7 years ago, has been to more focus on my God, and with the help of such things as doing these recordings has come to be a great mainstay, meaning to my life, as an expression of my being sent in terms of John 17, as an expression of my ministry. That's my meaning to life. By which I mean what I do while I'm here. So if you like, I see myself as I am a child of God, but I am sent, so I have something to do here. I don't just sit and enjoy the view. Do you see? It's the being sent that's actually giving me meaning, giving me my day's occupation. You know, when I'm tired, I think, well, I'll go and take a walk around the lake. I can talk to the odd person, you never know who, and they might follow my YouTube channel and be blessed by it. Do you see? It's all part of it. I might go to church. Well, what am I really doing there? I'm worshipping my God, aren't I? And getting fellowship and relating. Okay, I'm not now introducing them to my YouTube channel, so to speak, but I am wanting to bless them and feeling I'm blessing them because I'm talking to them about what is of their interest and concern and so forth, and being helpful, being a blessing, being kind, if you like, relating, loving. Your solution really needs to be according to your values, and then live accordingly until your values adjust, and then you adjust your living accordingly to that. So, for argument's sake, it might be like a friend of mine, it was motor racing. And, well, he picked up a wife that was happy to support him in this occupation, and they went around the world doing it. And for years and years. And then they settled down, had a family, and gave up the motor racing. They seem to have adjusted from doing what they felt they truly valued to doing what they truly value now, which is a combination of family and loving God, as they see it, which involves them in belonging to a particular church. Mine was the academic life, and a partner, a wife, and did that on and off. Oh, and teaching. Really enjoyed teaching come lecturing. And research. All sort of the academic life, wasn't it? And a partner. And my values adjusted accordingly to where I am now. Now, except when I'm very occasionally sitting flat like I did at the lake yesterday, and I've just told you about in the previous recording. Most of the time, I'm full of life. Really enjoying life. Happy. Full. Fulfilled. I would like a partner as well. To the extent that I have to remind myself often, hang on, this is not quite what you value, Marshall. You value something that's not realistic. And And if you do have a partner, it could cause you problems because you are wanting to be devoted to your God. What are you going to do? Suddenly put your God second? That's, doesn't sound good. Do you see? So, if you like, I'm not entirely of one mind all of the time. A consistency through time. You could say I go up and down a bit, or I vacillate a bit. I mean, I just know if some lovely person comes into my life. Oh no, there he goes again. But that does not mean I'm going to put all my resources to looking for such. I don't think that's a good idea at all. And could be pointless at this age, for goodness sake. You know, I mean, singularly unsuccessful. I think I could be courting trouble, so if a lovely person comes along, well, that's just wonderful, but it's possibly not quite as wonderful as you think, Marshall. Not after a while. And you have to bear this in mind. It doesn't mean to say it's not worth doing, but, well, it's not the rocket path to God, put it that way. It might be your way to life eternal, but it could be a very long journey. So, don't be disappointed by pursuing such. In uncertainty, there could be quite a bit of disappointment in doing it, in pursuing such. The pursuit alone, quite apart from whether you find such a person. There's far more happiness in devoting yourself to your God. Yes? Okay. Thank you, Dad. You see, now, what you find as fulfilling, in my case, if you like, my ministry, doing these recordings and reaching out to people to bless them, doesn't necessarily feel continuously satisfying, especially when you're drawn to some of the other things that you also sort of value and would like to materialize. But the pursuit of such might be very dissipating, if you like, of your life energy, your vitality. You know, if you put all your energies to finding another partner, for instance, for argument's sake, I mean, I don't drink, but I mean, hanging around in bars or hanging around places where you might meet them, and being disappointed, of course, much of the time, it's very unsatisfactory. It's not an enjoyable time except where you're successful. Whereas loving God is, you know, loving God, well, it depends what your God is, of course, but I mean, you know, presumably you want a meaning to life that is enjoyable in the now. Which meanings to life bring you the most enjoyment in the now? In other words, what do you value most? Now, a quick review of the various goals that you might have, for argument's sake, following God or seeking for a partner, may reveal to you that the seeking to the partner brings very little good returns in the immediate and short run, and may be successful in the long run. Whereas pursuing love of God brings very good returns in the short run, and the long run is endless. Life eternal. Which do you rationally choose? You may feel flat, and that's because you're between two goals. You're wanting one, but serving another. But with a bit of mindfulness, dwelling on the topic, you come to the conclusion, I know what my values are. That's what I'm going to focus on. So, in the case of me by the lake, I'm thinking to myself, well, this is not a very worthwhile practice, hunting for a partner. I'm happier doing what I'm normally doing. How do I get back on track? How do I find my vitality and enthusiasm again for such? By recognizing the futility of the alternative, and by, whatsoever is good and lovely in my life, thanking God for it. I know that gets me back on track. Because I know it gives me that feeling of gratitude, which gives me hope and peace and joy and purpose and so on and so forth. So I just practice going through, thank you for this, thank you for that. And in fact, I thought, well, I'll have another go at looking at the recordings. I can at least organise them as to which ones I'm going to publish and get it clear and organised. In other words, it's contributing to this goal. It's the sort of activity I know gets me back on track. Now, you need to be furnished with that. You need to know what gets you back on track to happiness and your meaning to life. What gets you back to worshipping your God, the personification of what you value, truly. So you review in your mind, do I value this or do I value that? Well, ideally this, because I know there's so much uncertainty with that one, and so forth. You're going to find your solution, and it's going to be what's meaningful to you in the present, according to your values when you really think about it. And that will review your determination. This is what I value, and you follow it. Now, you see, if I'd come to the conclusion sitting by the lake, no, really I value looking for a partner, and pursued that for a little while, say for the next few moments or days or whatever, you know that I'm now walking around the lake, for argument's sake, not to bless people particularly, but to see if I can find a partner. I mean, you'd walk around the lake, and it's extremely unlikely you would, especially in the shorter run. So you'd go home a bit dissatisfied, and you'd go home and think, that wasn't a very happy day. Am I going to do the same tomorrow? I don't think so. This is pointless. This is madness. You know, or, yes, I have a, this is going to work or something. I mean, depends on your evaluation and your experience. In other words, you will naturally move towards what blesses you. You might have found that it was relatively successful today. You chatted someone up, and who knows, you might meet them again. And then as the weeks go by, you find, well, that didn't really work out, of course, along with 5 or 6 other experiences. And you start to get more realistic as to what your true values are and how to achieve what you value best. You come back to worshipping what you truly value. Your experience starts to reveal it to you. And you can help this by knowing this is the process, because this is what's going to happen anyway. Whether you pursue this policy that I'm suggesting or not, this is what happens to you. Most people, you might think, in this world don't particularly review the ultimate one of, worshipping God, especially in the modern, urban, secular world. It's not, God's not in it. So they follow a thing that they think will work. And when they find it doesn't, well, it's a bit shattering. Now, you can make the process a lot better by being aware that the process is going on. And any youth can tell you, when you're looking for a partner, it's not very satisfactory until you find one. And some people take a very long time, and many never find a partner. Many never find a partner. And you think, well, can I do better than this from the point of view of my happiness? and the way starts to open up to you see. And of course, it may well be that your God does bring a partner along, even so, and in a sense, you go off on another byroad of worshipping a partner and finding that that's not quite satisfactory either. Do you see? Now, you can live in a culture, as I said back in the earlier recordings to this topic of this date, A and B or whatever. You can find you're in a society that actually protects you from that sort of problem. The society where there's arranged marriages is very interesting in that regard, whether it's arranged by, the parents formally or informally by your friends and your brothers and sisters who find you a good mate, because the mate comes along because of their action. You're in community, you're in family community, you see. They make sure you're going to be all right for the future as they understand it, that you need a partner, that is their view. And they do it for you. And of course, you may not be particularly sold on this partner that they find, but they found them for you, and okay, well, this will do, isn't it? If I'm supposed to be married, okay, and you run along with it. It's all very nice and not that objectionable, but certain things you didn't know you realised you had to adjust to, but still, that's the way Mum and Dad went. So I'm doing the same. It's probably going to work out all right. And you could possibly be married, actually, and quite happily putting your God first. You probably have the same God as he's got or she's got, the partner, because you come from the same society, same sort of family contacts. Whether it's the right God, well, of course, that's another point. In the sense that, is this religion valid as a life eternal from that sort of viewpoint? Well, depends on what your religion's view of itself is.